Well, guys, we did not have a good day in the stock market at all today. The S&P 500 and we had, I think, the Russell, both of them went down 2.5% each. We had the NASDAQ down almost 3.5%. As we had the Dow Jones, let's see here, go down about 2.2%. The VIX went up 8%, and the metals got destroyed. I'm not sure if you guys saw, but silver went down 3.5%. As we had gold go down about 1.7, almost 1.8% on the day. So yeah, it was a rough day out there. And in this video, we're going to be breaking it down. We're going to go over the charts. We're going to talk SPY, Triple Q. We're going to talk about some stocks that I'm looking at. And we have an earnings report to break down from Adobe. So needless to say, there's a lot to talk about. So if you all find value, hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe. And if you guys want some free money, who doesn't like free money? You could get up to 20 stocks from Moomoo, each up to $2,000. All you got to do is use that link down below or go to stocksurfest.com/Moomoo. Deposit at least $100 and boom, you get up to 20 stocks, and it also helps out the channel. I appreciate you guys as always. And now let's just talk about this disaster. So again, we sold off all across the board, and I forgot to mention what oil did. Let me check oil very quickly. But again, we sold off all across the board. Yeah, even oil went down 1.2%. And I'm saying that like oil hasn't been going down. Oil's been getting destroyed for the past couple of months here. So it went down again. And going back to SPY, we're noticing here on the 4-hour chart, which is not good for the bulls whatsoever, we are starting to fall under not only the 50 SMA, but also the 180 SMA. You guys can see that right here. And those moving averages were right around 390. Was I not talking a lot about 390 on the channel, guys? So we ended up falling under that point, right? 390, 392. We broke under it clear as day today, and that put us under the moving averages as well. So at this point, SPY's playing in this, little $10 window between 390 to about $380. At this point, this could be going and maybe even 385, right? That's going to be a support based on the high here from the beginning of November. You guys can see that. So it is playing in this window now. I think it could go down a little bit more, maybe to 385. And then if that were to break again, 380, then we'll see where it goes from that point. But what you guys have to realize is today was not a good day for the bulls. They failed at 390, 392. That is not a good sign at all. And on Triple Q, if I pull that up, this ended up going down even more. 3.4% red day, which is horrible. And it broke under not only 280, also 278. Those were two big levels. And now it looks like it's pretty much free falling to the highs here from the beginning of November, being about 272 roughly dollars per share, which you can see. Again, that was the high from early November. So that's where it looks like it's going. Triple Q right now is at 276. That's where it closed at. So, and mind you, it's a falling knife. So there could be more downside to go. 272. Then if that were to break, man, it could get ugly fast from that point. 262, 265, right? This is where it could be going. So for now, I'm going to put my alert at $273 on Triple Q here. And again, it's at 200, roughly 76 right now when I'm filming this video. So let me do that now. $273 mark is at or below. Again, if that breaks, we have some more downside to go. So let me pull up the silver chart very quickly because like I hinted at in the beginning of this video, metals did not do well at all. The metals got destroyed. Silver down 3.5%. We had gold get hit pretty decently today, guys. And it looks like now sellers are coming in at the top of this 3-year channel, not only on silver, but also on gold. That's very obvious to me as of now, and doesn't mean the bulls completely threw the towel in. Absolutely not. But it does mean in the short term here, they're getting some pressure. So we'll see. Time will tell whether or not the bulls could get out of, let's say, 1810 on gold, 1820 on gold, 1850 to start breaking out of that channel. Time will tell if silver starts getting above 25, 26 an ounce. That is where things could really start to reverse. So today, not the best day across the board for anything, especially the metals, right? So what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you all are finding value in the video, hit that like button. And let's talk about some stocks. We have a couple that I want to talk about in this video. And the first one is Adobe, which just reported earnings today after the bell. And I looked at their stock. I didn't look at their earnings yet, to be honest, but I did look at their stock, which is shooting up after the bell. So let's do it here together, guys. Let's take a look at what's going on. So Adobe closed at 328. It went down on the day, 3.3%. And now after the bell, it's at about $343. So it's up $15 a share, up 5%. So recovering all that loss, and they're actually up now after the bell, at least comparing it to the closing price from yesterday. And at one point it was up to $351 a share. It shot up 7% initially when these numbers came out. So let's take a look at the numbers. Let's see what they reported, and let's break it down, guys. So they ended up doing where is it here, guys? Coming down a little bit. They ended up doing $3.60 in EPS versus the $3.50 estimate. So they beat on that. And sales came in at $4.53 billion, which came in line with the estimate. And as for guidance for adjusted EPS for full year 23, that came in above the estimate. $15.15 to about $15.45 is what they're seeing versus the $15.25 estimate. That's a pretty good sign. And let's see here for Q1 EPS, they see 365 to 370 versus 364. That beat the estimate. And for sales, they see 4.6 to 4.64 billion, which is right in line with the 4.64 billion estimate. So pretty decent guidance. They beat on EPS last quarter. They came in line on revenue. That's pretty decent. And for full year 23, again, they guided pretty well on adjusted EPS. And on revenue, it's not, well, actually, did we get the full year revenue number for guidance? Yeah, I'm not really seeing that. Actually, no. Yeah, revenue of $19.4 billion. I guess that's the estimate for the full year, for full year 23. So, yeah, not too bad, guys. Adobe is ripping on that news. And if you know me, if you've been watching the channel, you know that I want Adobe at a lower price. So it's actually going in the wrong direction for me. But hey, I'm just one person. I don't control everything. All we can do, really, I don't control anything, at least, in the stock market, right? All we can do is react to what the stock market gives us. And you have to have price targets, especially if you're looking at individual stocks for long-term investments. And for me, my price target on Adobe is under 300, preferably under 250, which who knows if it ever gets there. But right now, all I know is that it's moving away from 250, 275, and more towards 350, 375. So for that reason, guys, I'm not going to be touching it. But who knows? In the short term, midterm, next couple of months, who knows? Maybe heading into the new year, it does sell off. Maybe we do start getting more downside. And to be honest, does the chart not look like it is setting up for a dump? I mean, it's sure as heck's not breaking out of the downtrend here on the 4-hour chart. Sure, it's had a decent rally, but you could argue it's a bear market rally. There's no doubt about it. You can make that argument here on Adobe. Same thing on SPY, right? Which never fully broke out, at least as of now. Triple Q, same thing. So that's kind of what I'm seeing on Adobe. Sure, it's ran up a good amount. You probably made some money trading it. But at this point, would I rush into it as a trade? There's no way. I think the ship has sailed potentially. I could be wrong. But I'd be looking at this to start seeing some, resistance at this mid 300 mark. Now, if it starts breaking out of 400, I could be proven completely wrong. If the bulls could get it out at 375, 400, that would be where a legitimate reversal in the short term would come. But let's be honest, guys, we're not getting that right now. And who knows if we will get that in the short term. I have my doubts. So what do you guys think about Adobe? Do you like the company? Do you like the stock? And the thing is, with stocks, guys, you can love a company, but not necessarily love the stock. It's not like you have to love the company to love the stock, right? There's a lot of questions you got to ask. But overall, that is Adobe, ticker symbol ADBE. And let's run through the watch list now and see what else ended up moving today. So we talked about Tesla earlier. That was kind of, the big news story of the day. Elon selling, it came out that he sold another, 22 million shares, $3.7 billion of Tesla from Monday to Wednesday. And in my opinion, he's probably going to be selling more Tesla. If I had to guess, if I had to bet, if we were in Vegas and this was, a betting option, I would bet on Elon selling more shares. No doubt about it. Whether it's 2 months from now, 3 months from now, a couple weeks from now, I think he might be selling more shares. But overall, cat's out of the bag. He sold more shares. And the funny thing is the stock ran on that news. But earlier, actually, wait a second. earlier in the, I mean, sure, it ran on the news, but earlier in the day, it was at 151 bucks. That was in the pre-market when I think the news first hit. It sold off pretty aggressively, and we took the lows out. That 151 number was, or level was hit, which took the low out from yesterday being 155, which took the low out from the previous day and the previous day, right? So Tesla's is just not looking good at all technically, and I'm not trying to be a mega bear. You know, I've been making a lot of, negative statements on Tesla. Sure, long term the company is going to do well in my opinion, but it's just one in the short term that is under so much pressure that A, I want to talk about it more. It's fun talking about it. And B, due to it being under pressure, it's going to continue to come down in my opinion, or at least stay in this $150 range. I don't see this exploding back towards, 250, 300 anytime soon. Why would it really? Honestly, why would it? There's really no big catalysts for Tesla at this point. So in the meantime, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough for Tesla and a lot of other stocks as well. I mean, this is not, Tesla's a little different because of Elon Musk, of course, and him being the character that he is. But a lot of businesses, even ones that don't have huge public-facing CEOs, they're still going to have problems in the next couple of months, right? But the fact that Elon is as crazy as he is puts even more pressure on Tesla, as you guys obviously know at this point in time. So yeah, let's talk about some other stocks. Best Buy barely went down, which honestly I like seeing that. And nasty red days like today, I like seeing stocks that are not getting hit too hard. They're holding their own. And the fact that Best Buy barely went down today, it only went down 4 cents, and it held right around 78, 79, 80 bucks, which we've talked about. That was the high from end of July, early August, throughout beginning of September, also, middle of November. The fact that we held above 80 bucks today in the midst of this crazy red day where the VIX went up almost 10%, that goes to show the strength of Best Buy at 78, 80, 81 bucks. So I'm looking at this as it's trading in this, range between 81 to 85 bucks. I'm looking to play this thing, maybe back to 85 bucks. Then if that were to break, that's where the big breakout could be coming. If 85, 88 bucks breaks, this is where Best Buy could really start taking off. Let's see what else ended up moving today. We had SoFi down. I mean, SoFi I feel like always goes down. SoFi down another 1.5%. Activision down 0.9%. I mean, I guess SoFi only going down 1.5%. I can't bag on it too much because again, the markets got destroyed today. So SoFi held its own. I mean, it still went down, but it held its own. But then again, you could also argue that the reason why SoFi is not going down much because it's already gone down so freaking much. I mean, it was $10 a share a couple months ago, which obviously is a huge drop to where it is now, $4.60. So SoFi went down on the day. Las Vegas Sands pretty much held its ground. It only went down 0.25%. And this is actually one that, if you look at the chart, it's been doing pretty well. I mean, this thing is almost doubled. Well, not exactly almost doubled, but I mean, okay, it almost doubled. It went from $28 to now it just hit 50 bucks, so it went up 70%, almost had a double up. And it's been doing very well over the past couple of weeks as we've been seeing all this crazy stuff going on in China, the riots, I think they're lifting some of their policies there now, zero whatever policies. Now they're going to be going back, maybe not back to normal, and who knows what normal's like there. I've never been to China, and who knows what they even tell us if it's true. I mean, I don't even know what to believe anymore. But they say things are going slowly back to normal. It might, of course, they have a real estate problem. There's a lot going on in the economy. It's not fixed by any stretch of the imagination. But there is a little optimism, which is sending these Chinese-related stocks up, which Las Vegas Sands does have a lot of business in China. Same with Wynn Resorts, which if I pull this stock up, it's been crushing it the past couple of weeks. And you guys know the Chinese stocks in general, the ADRs, right? These have been doing pretty decent. Baba went up about, in the past couple of weeks, we're talking 50, 60%. I mean, this is pretty insane. JD.com went up a good amount from $33 to about almost $63. It almost doubled, about 75%. That's a big move. 10-cent, another one, TCEHY. This did pretty well from about $24 to now $41. It is up 67%. So a lot of these Chinese stocks, they've been doing well. A lot of the companies that have pretty big exposure in China, their stocks at least have been doing well. Now the companies are still struggling, of course. They're not just magically a lot better now just because of a little easing in the policy there. They're still struggling, but the stocks are seeing a bit of a relief rally because let's be honest, a lot of these stocks, they're way off their fundamental values. And I know it's because they're VIE structures, whatever. You don't actually own the shares. There's Chinese risk. I get it. That's another reason, a big reason why the stocks are artificially, in a sense, low. But yeah, you guys get it. Either way, the stocks have been doing pretty well, and they do have a lot of risk, so keep that in mind. But there's no denying the fact that they've done extraordinarily well in the past couple of weeks. So let me see Big Tech. Oh my gosh, Big Tech did not do well. We'll wrap it up after this, guys. Apple went down 5% today, which, it was ugly. It got hit all the way down towards the lows here from the beginning of November, also beginning of October, end of October. So this is a very pivotal spot for Apple. And do you guys not see what's going on here? This is a descending triangle all day. This is on the brinks of collapse, in my opinion. This if it takes out 135, leg down's going to be coming. Apple is probably going to go down towards the low from a couple months ago, which, if you guys remember, let me show you right here. Let me set the alert first. Mark is at or below 135. If we take that out, if you guys remember, the low was $129 back in June. Then if that were to break, now we're talking probably I'm not going to say multi-year low, but let's say 18-month low. That's my guess. Maybe I'm wrong. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm pretty close. That'd be the if we took out 135, then we took out 129, right? We're going to be at the lowest point pretty much that we've been at since February, March, April of 2021, which, that is about, that's a pretty good guess. It is about 18 months ago, maybe around there, whatever. I'm probably off on that a little bit, but yeah, it's long ago, but not that long ago at the same time, 18 months ago. And, if that were to break, now we're talking maybe Apple going low hundreds. Maybe it goes under 100, which if Apple goes under 100, guys, that's where I'm going to be buying for sure some Apple. And Apple's one of those stocks that I own, and I never want to completely sell out of Apple, but it is one of those that I trim and I add, based on the valuation of the company, right? It's one of those that I actually trimmed pretty well, or I timed it pretty well. This happened a couple months ago, or maybe it wasn't weeks. It was definitely months ago at this point. But I trimmed Apple, on this run right here. Yep. When was this? Back in, oh my gosh, that was in August? Yeah, definitely a couple months ago. It ran up to the 170s, right? And I'm not even kidding, guys. I trimmed it right before it peaked. You can't always time the top, and I'm not going to claim I time the top every time because that's BS. But sometimes you do. Sometimes luck is on your side, and you literally time the top. And in this case, I trimmed a decent amount of my Apple position at that point, and look at where we are now. It is down $40 from that point. And this is the way I'm looking at these individual stocks that I own. A lot of them, right? Maybe not all of them, but some of them I like to trim. I like to add more depending on where the price is at. And again, like I said, if this gets to 100, 110, 115, that is where I'd consider nibbling a little Apple. That's where I'd consider buying back some shares. Call me crazy, but that is what I'm looking to do. So that's Apple. Let me see some other ones very quickly before we wrap it up. Amazon's looking like descending triangle all day as well. Guys, these tech stocks are right on the verge of collapse. I'm not even trying to be the YouTuber that's like, oh, the end of the world's coming, the collapse is coming. They're not going to go out of business or anything crazy, but technically the charts, do not look good. They do not look good for the bulls. I mean, that's just the reality of the matter. And Amazon's on the brinks of another maybe $5-10 drop. I mean, if it falls under $85, we get that leg down, descending triangle starts playing out. Who knows where it's going to go? Probably back to the 70s. And that would be more billions, many more billions of dollars lost in market cap. And if you're a long-term investor, that should be something that you're rooting for. I'm not telling you to go buy Amazon or Apple or any of these stocks, to be honest. I can't tell you to do anything. But I'm just saying, in general, when stocks go down, that is when you want to buy. So yeah, that's Amazon. Let's see what Google did today. Google ended up going down 4.3%, and this is not yet in my buy range quite yet. Google's my biggest individual stock holding, if you guys didn't know, for all the new viewers out there. But for me to add more to it, I want to get it under 85, preferably under 80. If this goes under 80, that's where I'm going to be buying even more. And the last stock, let's see, Meta. Meta went down 4.5. All right, not the best day for Meta. Last stock's actually Microsoft. Almost forgot. Can't forget about Microsoft, guys. This ended up going down 3.2% on the day. And it looks like the inverse head and shoulders is still intact, which we called out pretty recently. And it looks like we're going to be testing that 180 SMA. So we'll see. We'll see, guys. These markets are freaking insane. And in my opinion, there could be more downside, but who knows? With how crazy the markets have been, nobody obviously knows for sure. So with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, make sure to subscribe, and don't forget to get up to 20 stocks from Moomoo, each up to $2,000. All you have to do is use that link down below, deposit at least $100, and just like that, you get up to 20 stocks, again, each up to $2,000, and it helps out the channel. And if you want some more money, you could also get 12 stocks from Webull with any amount deposited, also linked down below. And with that being said, cheers, guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.